chosen one, the testing is over. I need you to hear those words tonight, not as a sentiment, but as a verdict that has already been entered over your life. For so long now, every time you thought you had reached the end of a season, another wave came. Another loss, another silence, another test you did not ask for. Your nervous system has learned to brace for the next one. But listen carefully. What you just walked through was the hardest one. The one that exposed every false foundation. The one that ended every version of you that could not carry what is ahead. And the reason this message has reached you in this exact hour is not random. A higher hand placed it directly in your path because the verdict has already been sealed, and tonight you finally get to hear it. You did not fail the season. You did not fall short of it. You passed it. Not loudly, not in front of an audience. You passed it in the kind of silence only the divine witnesses. So before we go any further, breathe. It is done. Everything I share with you in the next minutes is being offered freely. But if at any point during this message your spirit tells you there is something more your soul needs, you will find what you need waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. Do not go looking. Do not click. Only if you feel led. And before we go any deeper, I want to tell you exactly what you will receive if you stay with me to the very end of this message. You will receive the 6 quiet signs your body has been showing you that the testing season has truly closed. Signs you have been calling exhaustion that are actually something far more sacred. You will receive the original ancient word that names what just happened to you. A word that changes how you understand the past months of your life. You will receive 2 simple practices you can begin using this week to stop bracing for the next blow. And before this message ends, I will speak a declaration over your life that I believe will stay with you long after you close this. So settle in. The verdict is ready. Stay with me. You are tired in a way that sleep doesn't touch. I know that, because the kind of tired you are carrying is not physical alone. It is soul tired. It is the tired of being tested for so long, in so many directions at once, that your spirit has forgotten what life feels like outside of a test. You don't remember when you started bracing. You don't remember when scanning for the next problem became your default morning posture. You don't remember when meeting good news with suspicion became automatic. You don't remember when peace stopped feeling like rest and started feeling like the calm before the next storm. But it happened, slowly, quietly, across so many small disappointments that no single one of them seemed to matter, until they added up to something heavier than your shoulders were built for. And no one around you saw the weight of it. They saw you functioning, they saw you smiling, they saw you showing up. They did not see how much it cost. They did not see the prayers you whispered when the room was dark. They did not see the mornings you got up only because there was no other option. They did not see how many times you held yourself together with nothing but the small, fragile hope that one day this would mean something. But the divine saw. Every silent moment of obedience when no one was watching. Every moment of integrity when bitterness would have been easier. Every time you chose your character over your comfort. Every time you kept your light when the people around you were trying to dim it. All of it was being witnessed. All of it was being recorded. None of it was wasted. You thought it was you. You thought you were doing something wrong. You thought maybe if you had prayed harder, believed deeper, done better, the season would have lifted sooner. That story is not the true story. The true story is that what you were walking through was a refining specific to who you are about to become, and the refining is finished. But there is something underneath the surface of this season that I need to show you next, because what was being built in you during the hardest months is the part most chosen ones miss entirely. Listen to me carefully now. There are physical signs your body has been showing you that the testing season has closed, and you have been misreading every single one of them. Your mind has been calling them exhaustion. Your spirit knows them as something else. So I want to name them for you, one by one, slowly, so you can finally recognize what has been happening underneath your skin. The first sign is the way your sleep has been breaking lately. You wake up at strange hours, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, not from anxiety, from a quiet knowing. Something inside you is being recalibrated, and the system has been waking you up at the hours your spirit is most porous. This is not insomnia. This is your inner clock, returning to a rhythm it was forced to suppress while you were surviving. The second sign is the tears that come at the strangest moments. You will be doing something ordinary. Driving, folding clothes, standing in the kitchen waiting for the kettle, and without warning, a wave of emotion will rise from somewhere you cannot name, and your eyes will fill, and you will not even know what you are crying about. Those tears are not weakness. They are old grief leaving your body. The kind of grief you did not have permission to feel while you were inside the test. The third sign is the strange new resistance to relationships that used to feel safe. People you have known for years are starting to feel heavy. Conversations you used to enjoy are starting to feel like they cost more than they give. You do not want to be unkind, and you feel guilty even noticing the shift. But your spirit is starting to draw a line that your mouth has not yet drawn. That is not coldness. That is your inner compass turning back on after a long time of being overridden. The fourth sign is how sensitive you have become to environments. Noise feels louder, crowds feel heavier, certain rooms feel wrong before anyone speaks a word. You leave places earlier than you used to. You crave silence in ways you cannot explain. That is not anxiety. That is your spiritual perception coming back online after being numb for a season. The fifth sign is the dreams. They have been louder lately, more vivid, more specific. Sometimes you wake up and you cannot tell if what you saw was a dream, or a memory, or a message. Your subconscious is doing the work. Your conscious mind has been too tired to do. The closing of a long season often shows up in the dream life first, weeks before the waking life catches up. And the sixth sign is the strangest one. Time itself has started to feel thick, slow, almost suspended. You catch yourself in a small moment, watching steam rise from a cup, and time stretches in a way it did not used to. That thickness is your nervous system finally stepping out of survival mode. The clock has not changed. Your relationship to the present has. If even 3 of those signs have been quietly showing up in your life, then what I am about to say next is not poetry. It is fact. The testing season is closing over your life, and I hear the voice of the Father saying, I did not bring you this far to leave you here. I did not refine you for nothing. The proof is already in your body. You only had to be told what you were looking at. Let me pause here with you for a moment. You have been listening to this for almost 10 minutes now. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breath. Notice the way your body is sitting right now. Before we go any deeper, just take one slow breath with me. Nothing to receive, nothing to release, just one breath. To remind your nervous system that nothing in this moment requires you to brace. Okay. Now let me show you what was actually being built in you while you were inside that fire. There is a man whose story has been told for thousands of years, and yet very few people understand what was actually happening to him while he was inside it. His name was Job, and his story is the original blueprint for what you have just walked through. What you remember about Job is the suffering, the losses that came in waves, the family taken, the wealth taken, the health taken. The friends who showed up, not to comfort him, but to blame him. The wife who told him to give up. But the part of Job's story most people skim over is the silence. For chapter after chapter, the heavens were quiet over his life. He did not get an explanation. He did not get a timeline. He did not get a reason. He had only one thing left, which was the choice to remain who he was while everything was being taken. And here is what changed everything. Job did not pass the test by understanding it. He passed it by enduring without becoming bitter. He passed it by refusing to curse the very source he had given his life to. He passed it in the silence, when no one was watching, in moments only the divine witnessed. Now I want you to hear something carefully. The fire that came into Job's life did not consume him. The fire revealed him. It burned away the things that were never essential, and it left standing the gold that was always underneath. That is what a refining fire does. It does not punish, it clarifies. Everything that was not yours falls away. Everything that is truly yours becomes unbreakable. And what came after Job's refining was not a return to what he had before. It was something bigger. There is a Hebrew word for what happened to him next. The word is shalom. Most people translate that word as restoration, but the word means far more than that. Shalom is a legal and financial word. It means to be paid back with interest. It means to receive not only what was taken, but more than what was taken, as compensation for what was endured. Job did not get his old life back. He got a multiplied life. Twice the wealth, new family, new honor, a reputation that has outlived 3,000 years. That is the pattern of what just happened over your life. The fire was not punishment. The fire was the gate. And the season that follows a refining is not a return. It is a multiplication. What looked like loss was actually clearing. What felt like silence was actually preparation. What seemed like delay was actually divine design. What felt like punishment was actually inheritance being secured. You are not at the end of something. You are at the beginning of the shalom, and the form it will take in your life is being arranged in the background of your days, in places you cannot yet see. But there is one more piece to this picture that science has been quietly discovering for the past 3 decades, and I want to share it with you now, because it explains something physical you have been feeling and could not put words to. There is a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake. He has spent over 30 years mapping a specific frequency in the human brain that goes quiet during prolonged stress. Researchers call it gamma. It is the frequency of insight, of intuition, of those moments when life feels lit from within. Children carry it strongly. Adults under long testing lose it the way a candle loses its flame in a closed room. Dr. Lake has built an entire body of work around restoring it, and what I am going to share with you today is only the first piece of his system. The rest is for when you are ready. The first piece is something he created called the Genius Song. It is a short audio track, 7 minutes, designed using brain entrainment to gently reactivate the gamma frequency that the testing season has been suppressing in your nervous system. You do not have to meditate. You do not have to do anything elaborate. You only have to put on a pair of headphones and listen. I am going to share more about it later in this message, when the moment feels right. For now, just hold the name in your mind. If your spirit tells you there is something there for you, the link is waiting in the description and the pinned comment. Only if you feel led. Now, let me bring you to the part of this message that I believe is the reason it found you in this hour. Because there is one obstacle that stops most chosen ones from receiving the new season even after the test is done. It is not visible. It is not loud. It hides inside the very people who suffered the most, and it disguises itself as wisdom. In a moment, I am going to name it for you directly. I am going to share 2 practical protocols that loosen its grip. I am going to tell you the story of a woman who walked through 18 months of testing and came out on the other side. And before this message ends, I will speak a declaration over your life that you have been waiting your whole season to hear. Stay with me, chosen one. We are not finished. We are at the beginning. Welcome back, chosen one. If you are still with me, you have already done something most people do not do. You stayed. You stayed past the part where the verdict was announced. You stayed past the part where your body was decoded. You stayed past the moment when the temptation to skip ahead was strongest. That is not a small thing. That is the sign of someone who already knows, somewhere underneath the doubt, that this message is for them. Now, let me bring you into the deepest layer of what just happened over your life. I want to give you the word that names what you have walked through. It is one of the most powerful words in any ancient language, and it has been hidden in plain sight for 2,000 years. The word is tetelestai. It is Greek, and it has a meaning that very few people fully grasp. Most people translate tetelestai as it is finished. That translation is not wrong, but it is shallow. The original Greek word is a legal and commercial term. It was the word stamped on a debt that had been paid in full. It was the word a craftsman spoke when a long work was complete and nothing more could be added or improved. It was the word a runner cried when the race was finished and the trophy was secured. Tetelestai does not mean stopped. It does not mean paused. It means paid, complete, sealed, nothing more required. That is the word being pronounced over the testing season of your life right now. The work in you is paid. The race you were running silently is complete. The debt you thought you owed is cancelled. Nothing more is being asked of you to qualify for what is coming next. Tetelestai. It is done. Now I want to give you 2 simple practices you can start using this week, because knowing it is done is not the same as living like it is done. Your nervous system has been in survival mode for a long season. It will need help catching up to the truth. The first practice I want to share with you is something you can call the reception protocol. Here is how it works. Whenever something good begins to arrive in your day, however small, your old instinct will be to brace, to look for the catch, to wonder when it will be taken back. The reception protocol is 3 quiet steps. First, you name the good thing inside your mind, even if only as a whisper to yourself. Second, you place your hand somewhere on your body, your chest, or your stomach, and breathe 1 slow breath into the place where the bracing lives. Third, you say 1 short sentence silently inside yourself. I am allowed to receive this. That is all. 3 steps, less than 30 seconds. You do it the moment any good thing arrives, before the bracing wins. The second practice you can call the unbracing practice, and it takes 60 seconds, once a day, wherever you happen to be. Even if you are lying in bed or sitting in a car, you stop. You let your shoulders drop. You let your jaw unclench. You let your tongue rest off the roof of your mouth. And you take 3 slow breaths into your lower belly, not your chest. While you breathe, you repeat 1 sentence silently. There is nothing in this moment that I have to fight. That is the entire practice. 60 seconds, done. Your nervous system will resist it at first because survival mode is comfortable to it. Do it anyway. Within 10 days, something will shift. But there is one thing that will block both of those practices if you do not see it. And we have to name it now. The obstacle is this. After a long testing season, even after the test is done, most chosen ones cannot fully receive the new season, not because they do not believe it, because their nervous system does not know how. The body has learned bracing as a survival skill. Bracing kept you safe for a season when nothing else could. So the bracing does not just disappear when the test is over. It has to be unlearned, gently, day by day. And there is a second layer underneath it that is even quieter. It is called growth guilt. You feel it as a small tightness inside any good news that arrives. You feel it when you start to be okay, while people around you are still struggling. You feel it when you outgrow a friendship that has carried you for years. You feel it when your inner peace starts to return, and you can almost taste it. And then something inside you whispers that you do not deserve it. That voice is not yours. That voice is the residue of the test, and it is time for it to be released. So listen carefully now. You are allowed to receive without earning it twice. You are allowed to rest without producing first. You are allowed to feel peace without explaining it to anyone. You are allowed to outgrow people who were never able to grow with you. You are allowed to be okay while others are still figuring out how. You are allowed to believe the verdict that has already been entered over your life. You are allowed to step into the new season without dragging the old fear behind you. The bracing is not your friend anymore. The guilt was never a virtue. Both of them belong to a chapter that has already closed. I want to tell you about a chosen one I came across recently, because her story is the closest thing I can show you to a mirror. 18 months ago, she was facing the collapse of 3 things at once. Her marriage was failing in a quiet way no one outside the house could see. Her career was unraveling after a decade of building. Her body had begun sending her warning signs she could no longer ignore. 3 pillars, all falling at the same time. She did not pray for the testing to lift. She did something different. She prayed to remain who she was while it was happening. She made one small promise to herself every morning. She would not let what she was walking through turn her into someone she would not recognize on the other side. For 14 months, she lived in that silence, holding, showing up, refusing to become hard. And then, in a span of 8 weeks, 3 things shifted without her fighting for them. Her marriage moved into a different kind of conversation. Her career opened a door that was not on her radar. Her health stabilized in a way her doctor could not fully explain. She told me later that she did not survive the test. She passed it, and the proof was that the version of her who emerged on the other side was not bitter. She was lighter. That is what is also happening to you. You did not survive your test. You passed it. But before I can show you the specific tool Dr. Lake created to support what we have been talking about, because I will show you, there is one more thing I have to reveal. And this one changes how everything else in this message will land in your life. So, stay with me. We are 90 seconds away from the part that completes the verdict. Let me bring this all into one clear picture, plain and simple. Before we go any further, here is what we have actually been talking about for the past several minutes. The reason the testing season existed in your life was not because something was wrong with you. It existed because there is a capacity being built in you that no comfortable season could have built. The hardship was the building. The silence was the building. The losses were the clearing. Every part of it had a purpose, even the parts that felt like they did not. What was built in you during the test is 3 things: a proven endurance, a nervous system that can hold more than it could before, and an identity that no longer has to be defended because it has already been tested. Those 3 things will carry you into what is next. And the one you are now is not the one who started the test. You are calmer, you are clearer, you are less interested in being liked, and more interested in being aligned. That is who you are now, and that is who the new season is being prepared for. Now let me show you the simple physical tool that supports the part of this you cannot do with your mind alone. The reason I am telling you this is because there is something about the chosen one that science has confirmed in the past 30 years, and it changes everything about how your body comes out of a long testing season. Chosen ones are not born with average brains. The very gift that made you sensitive as a child, that made you absorb things faster, that made you feel everything more deeply, was a stronger gamma frequency in your nervous system than most people carry. The world called it intuition. Researchers call it gamma. And the cost of having more gamma than most is that when life suppresses it, you feel the loss more than anyone around you. The hardest part of your testing season was not only the events, it was the suppression of the frequency you were born to live in. Earlier in this message, I mentioned a name, the Genius Song. I want to come back to it now, because it is the simplest tool I have ever found for what your body is asking for. There is a woman, a manager at a financial firm, who tried it and felt almost nothing for the first 18 days. She nearly asked for a refund. She decided to stay with it 2 more weeks, more out of curiosity than belief. By the 34th day, she realized she had stopped feeling stuck in her work. A decision she had been avoiding for months had been made the week before, easily, without inner conflict. She was sleeping deeper than she had in years. There was no dramatic moment. There was just a morning she woke up and realized her life had quietly become different. Not every chosen one experiences a fast shift. Some carry the slow burn. That is normal. That is not failure. Now, let me share what this technology actually is, in clear terms. Dr. Robert Lake has spent 34 years studying the gamma frequency. His work has been recognized by researchers at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and several other leading research institutions. What he discovered is that the same gamma your brain produced naturally as a child can be reactivated by a specific pattern of sound delivered through ordinary headphones. He compressed the entire technology into a 7-minute audio track. You sit, you listen, that is all that is required. You may be thinking, I have tried meditation, I have tried yoga, I have tried healing audios. Why would this be different? That is a fair question. The honest answer is the mechanism. Meditation asks your brain to change itself from the inside, slowly, with no guarantee. Brain entrainment works from the outside in. It is measurable, it is faster, it is not the same category of tool. To date, over 18,300 chosen ones have used this audio, and fewer than 4% have asked for a refund. That number tells you almost everything you need to know. And you may be thinking, what does this cost? The honest reality of the world is this. A single subscription to a meditation app runs about $15 a month. A short online mindfulness course is $100 to $200. A weekend spiritual retreat runs $400 to $800. A single therapy session is around $150. A session at a biofeedback clinic is around $300 and requires repeated visits. None of those tools target gamma directly. The technology in the Genius song was originally priced at $49. For viewers of this message, Dr. Lake reduced it to $39, one time, no subscription, instant delivery to your email. It is not listed at this price anywhere else online. When you receive it, you also receive 4 bonuses. A second audio for the children in your life, called Genius Child, valued at $19. The original book that inspired the movie The Secret, valued at $20. A guided visualization journey across 4 areas of life, valued at $29. And a printable 5-habit infographic for keeping gamma stable long-term, valued at $12. The bonuses together are worth $80, yours, free, with the $39 audio. And the guarantee is simple. You have 90 days. If for any reason it does not serve you, you ask for a refund. No questions, no return required. And here is what most companies do not do. You keep all $80 of bonuses anyway. The refund is offered as an apology for your time. One last thing I have to say carefully, because you deserve transparency. There are copy products online with similar names made by people who do not have Dr. Lake's research and do not have the actual gamma calibration. They may sound similar. They are not the same. The only safe place to find the original is the link in the description and the pinned comment of this message. If this is for you, you already know. You do not need pressure to feel it. The link is waiting. Now let me bring this message home. If you have stayed with me this far, something inside you has already shifted, and I want to seal it before you go. Let me ask you to do something small with me, in your mind, right where you are. There is no need to move. There is no need to stand up. Just close the picture of your day for a moment. Picture the weight you have been carrying through the testing season. Notice where it lives in your body. Maybe your shoulders, maybe your chest, maybe somewhere lower. Wherever it is, you know. Now take one slow breath in, and as you breathe out, picture that weight sliding down the front of your body, past your knees, past your feet, and onto the ground beneath you. Let it stay there. It is no longer yours to carry. And while you are in that moment of release, hear these words spoken over you. You did not survive the test. You passed it. What was behind you is closed. What is in front of you has been prepared. The bracing is not your home anymore. The fear is not your inheritance. You are calmer than you were. You are clearer than you were. You are less afraid than you were. You are more aligned than you were. The version of you who walked into the test is gone, and the one who walked out is the one being met by the new season. Tetelestai. It is finished. The testing season is closed over your life. And one more thing before we close. You are not alone in this. All across the world, in this very hour, chosen ones who walked the same long season are receiving the same verdict. In the same kind of silence you are sitting in right now. The destiny being embraced over your life is being embraced over theirs too. You are not isolated. You are part of a quiet, rising company, and so it is sealed. If this message met you in the place I believe it was meant to meet you, leave 3 small words in the comments below. It is done. Let the verdict be witnessed in writing. Share this with someone you can feel is in the closing chapter of a long testing season, but does not yet have the words for it. If your spirit told you the link in the description was for you, that link is still there. And if this is the first of these messages you have heard, the bell below brings the next ones to you when they are placed in the world. Rest tonight, chosen one. You are home.